Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live?
From the original Walk-Ons, Burbank at Nicholson. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Sandegriff along with Jimmy Ott. Max Gotro back from his working vacation. Jordan Kitchen's back in his studio. Colucci with us. Matt Humans with us today from Las Vegas. LSU baseball right across the street at the box tonight, Thursday, Friday, Saturday series against Alabama. LSU gymnastics tonight in the national semifinals from Fort Worth. Jimmy, good morning.
Yes, indeed. This is a place to be, man. LSU Bama coming in. LSU trying to rebound from getting swept in Auburn last week, and so they need this against the number 11 RPI team in the country. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, weather's good. I mean, if you can't score a ticket, you can just watch the game right here at Walkon. So should be a lot of fun for kind of a hot ticket this weekend for the LSU Alabama series.
It is. I know. I'll be in the building tonight.
There you go.
Gonna go catch a game from the. I'm gonna watch it from the stands tonight. Looking forward to enjoying the game this afternoon. We'll have more on that later on in the show. But the news came about an hour ago, maybe a little over an hour ago, out of ESPN that Lee Corso will be retiring from game day after the first game of the 2025 season. Corso has been on the show since 1987. He turns 90 at the beginning of August, and he'll have his final game. They haven't announced the location yet, but I say with a lot of confidence that it's either going to be in Columbus or when Ohio State plays Texas, or in Tallahassee, which is, of course, where Corso went to school at Florida State. When they play Alabama. Those are the two choices first week. We'll get to that. They'll make that decision somewhere down the line. But Corso's been a staple, as much of a Mr. College football as you can get. The headgear segment, the pick segment has, kind of become appointment viewing for college football fans. He's been doing that since 1995. And, of course, that includes a lot of trips here to Baton Rouge. I was a little bit surprised that, the team he's picked the most has been Ohio State, and Alabama's been number 2. But LSU's number 3 of the teams that he has picked the most time, 25 times.
Who's 1 and 2?
Ohio State's 1 and Alabama's 2. But LSU is number 3. He's picked the Tigers 25 times over the years. There's been times where I want to say it was the 2002 season that he picked LSU preseason to win the national championship, and he was a year off.
What year did he
I think it was 2002 that he picked them before the season started.
Oh, really?
And, of course, that was the year that Matt Mock
after they
got
won
hurt.
the Sugar Bowl.
They had won the Sugar Bowl the year before, and Matt Mock had, come in the SEC championship game, and he was getting ready to take over the starter. And LSU, truthfully, was 6-1 when Mock got hurt at Florida. So, they were starting to play really well. They went to the swamp and just blew Florida out. But Mock's injury kind of stunted the rest of that season, but got it right the next year. I understand what most people will think of when they think of Lee Corso. They'll think of the joy, the excitement, the enthusiasm, the headgear picks, dressing up all kind of different ways over the years, dressing up as the Leprechaun or Benjamin Franklin, or it was a lot of fun. But, I posted this a little while ago. When I met Lee Corso for the first time, Gordy and I were still doing the game day, the Eagle pregame from the ramps of the PMAC. So we were set up when they came here. I want to say this was 2003 in the national championship year. We were set up maybe 30, 40 yards away from them, and we asked Corso to come over and do a segment before they started. And he was very gracious and came in. But when we went over to get him, these stacks and stacks and stacks of notes and all of the prep that he had done. And when he sat down, you kind of warming up to it a little bit. You said, "Yeah, Coach, how do you get ready for these games? You go out to Rufino's last night with the rest of the crew." Like, nope, I study. I get in, and as soon as we're done with our production meetings, I go back to the room. I read my notes over and over again. I talk with our producers about what we're going to do. I get in bed for probably 8 o'clock on Friday, and he was nothing but business. So it's important, I think, to remember that not only was the guy a great entertainer, but for a long time on that show, he was the football guy. He's a coach through and through, and he prepared for that show the same way. He told us that. He said, I prepared for the show the same way I prepared for games. Of course, in recent years, Corso's health has not always been the best. He had a stroke back in 2009. They had greatly reduced the amount of time that he was on the show in the last few years. He's pretty much done the first segment, the last segment, and maybe one in between. Right. And we understand, coaches, he's going to be 90, and it's probably time for him to retire, but I'll miss it, Jimmy. Game day was all, and Lord knows I've done enough pregame shows in my time, but this was the gold standard, and Corso was the heart and soul of college game day. Well,
you've got a coach represented on the panel now that's pretty respected in Saban. Although some of the hypocrisy of some of his statements are just laughable, but still he's highly respected and he's into it as well. He's prepared. So you have the ex-football coach, and the headgear thing. It's just something that never got old. I mean, it really did. It really did. I mean, something the shelf life for people to look forward to that is just. It never got old. It's as simple. Okay, just put on a headset. It's gotten goofy, but he's got these goofy little waves. But the other thing too, Charlie, man, my man was sharp dresser.
Yeah,
deep into. My man came dressed to kill every time. I mean, really, when you get up in age, I mean, sometimes that slips, and that's he took some pride in his content, and he took some pride in his appearance. But the thing about that is, I mean, it went from the ex-football coach to kind of like, okay, sort of the comedy relief guy, a little bit. And we want to remember him for, all of the great things that he brought, because certainly game day is evolving for better or for worse. We've got our criticisms and our constructive criticisms and things we like and things that we don't really like. But we want to have more positive memories on one of the most. We love college football. It's our favorite. We love sports. We've been doing this over 30 years, both of us. And the one that really gets our blood going is college football. With all of the problems that we got going on in college football and different opinions, things. If you don't know anything and you just turn on the TV on Saturday, you don't know college football's got any problems, because it's on. And them to just capture that on-site atmosphere, it's a win. And you had plenty of programming discussions with the people at ESPN. Is the thing the one they don't really touch, and he was such a big part of that. And let him go out with some dignity. Yeah, and he will. I think this will be a huge celebration. They've made concessions. They've made concessions. Yeah. This is cool. One last hurrah. I got to think they're going to be at the Horseshoe, Texas, Ohio State. I mean, I think so too. Come on. I mean, but he went to Florida State, and it's Alabama, Florida State. So I'm going to give that a chance. It's so bad. I know. I mean, if it was Florida State, 10 years ago, different story. Yeah, but I think it'll be the shoe. That would be compromise. And I don't think he wants to compromise. I thought it was really cool that he lasted this long, that he got that trip to the place he coached. Keep in mind, when they opened up that West Upper Deck, it used to just be the LSU Oval. The first game that LSU played was against Indiana and Lee Corso. I was at that game. I think it was a 24-14 game, if I'm not, it's 76, 77, think, something like that. Yeah. So he's but to see some of the old players and them talk about some of the memories they had of Indiana, and Indiana's success is mild, their history, but to have them be excited because they were undefeated and they were playing a big game. I'm glad he got to experience that. But Herb Street's been with him every step of the way. He's been supportive. He'll finish his sentences when he gets stuck. But it's it's maybe a little overdue, but let's get out while you still have, some good memories, some dignity.
I think it'll be. By the way, LSU lost that game back.
It's 24-21. My bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had forgotten that they lost that game. The season didn't start back then until September the 17th. Can you
Wow.
believe that? So, two more things about it. You talked about the gold standard, how the ESPN doesn't touch it. ESPN, from its origins in 1979, has had its more than its fair share of controversies inside that building and on that campus. And they wrote a book about, I'm going to say they published this book about 10, 12, 15 years ago called These Guys Have All the Fun. And it's a really, really well done. It's a long book. It's about 1,000 pages of the how ESPN was built, how they forced the originator of it out, Getty Oil and the whole deal. And then they went through every situation that in every show and everything that ESPN had done from 1979 to about 2010. And you read about all of the evolving and all of the problems that they had behind the scenes and the sexual harassment case and everything. And when they got to the chapter, wasn't even really a chapter, on College Game Day, they did like 2 pages on it, 2.5 pages, because there was no controversy.
Right.
It was like, this is the gold standard. This is what ESPN wishes everything on its air was College Game Day. It was the absolute pinnacle of everything that they did, and still is, in my opinion. It's still, even though it's different, it's still the best thing that they do. Outside of the games themselves, of course. And then the second thing is with the headgear. The best things that happen in broadcasting happen organically. Okay, that's, in my opinion, why it really hasn't gotten old. If some producer had said, "Hey, we're going to do this. We're going to put a mascot head on Coach Corso every week, and everybody's going to love it, and that's going to be our new tradition," it probably wouldn't have worked. It worked because Corso thought of it and did it off the cuff one time without possibly realizing how big it would become, to doing it one time to saying, man, you got to do this every week because everybody's coming to see this. It happened organically, and that's how the best things in our business usually come about.
You don't think that what they're going to do with this tradition? Because I think it's pretty damn obvious.
McAfee?
Absolutely.
Yeah. He could do it. And
he's the guy that interacts with the crowd.
Yes.
It's a little overdone at times,
mm-hmm.
But he's going to be the one. You're not. Saban's not doing that.
Saban's not doing it. I was wondering if they going to keep doing it.
No, you could say. I think it's.
I don't know. It's if I was sitting in that meeting, you go, "Do you want McAfee to do this?" And is it gonna?
If I'm calling the shots, McAfee's doing it.
Yeah, or is
it just
this, or do we retire this with Corso? Was this his thing and just?
If you're making that decision, what would you do?
I think it's a tough call.
I
honestly, I might retire it with him.
It's okay. He did it for a gazillion years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an insult to Corso.
No,
this is the guy that interacts with the crowds.
It's actually honoring him to keep it going.
Yes. I mean, I think he would. He may even pass that, onto him.
Pass the headgear.
Yeah. I mean, it's. Listen, there's a lot of missteps, I think, with McAfee's involvement or kind of overpowering sort of his role in this one. But if there's anything that this guy fits, it's this.
No, I think you're right. And you call it Lee Corso's headgear picks, long after he leaves the show.
Yeah.
You can always keep his name on it. And you're probably right on that one.
I mean, when we were, close it out, the Corso's. Max, your thoughts?
I would look, it's such an iconic thing. I mean, even the kids, I feel like it kind of are introduced to college football.
Non-football fans.
Like you see, it's so somehow like stupid. If you were dropped in from Europe and you were watching this, you would wonder what in the world was going on. But it's great. I hope they keep it. Part of me thinks that they won't, that they will retire it with Corso. But I would love for them to keep it as long as Corso's, I guess, cool with it, because I do think that's kind of part of it is they want to keep his honor and keep him going, even if they're kind of.
How is she going to close out the show?
I mean, they'll still do the picks. I'm just wondering.
Okay,
if they
yeah, they're
keep
going to do the
headgear.
picks, and you're going to have the biggest game. Well, Herb Street's doing it, so he can't even pick it.
You talked me into it. Yeah, it was
mean,
pretty easy to talk me into it. Yeah, you call it Lee Corso's
They'll discuss
Lee Corso's
it.
headgear picks, and then you put the
Yeah.
tiger head or the Buckeye head or whatever on McAfee. Yeah,
And McAfee can jump around like a buffoon. I mean, he loves doing that. I mean, he takes his shirt off and does.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows whatever. I mean, he does that deal where he'll start doing a cheer for the home team and then flip on the visiting team. Oh no, this is for all the things that he does that people have really strong opinions, pro or con. This is a natural for him.
Yeah,
this is in his wheelhouse.
I would have to agree with that. We're here at the original Walk-Ons. Come over for the baseball
place,
game
man.
tonight.
Yeah, LSU, Bama, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday over here at Walk-Ons. We got some good Major League Baseball games going on. Justin Thomas, one of Max's picks, is his first pick. He is the leader right now at 6 under. He's on the turn, so on pace for 59. I don't think he'll quite get that, but maybe 9 or 10 under. We will have to see. And as I see, he tees off into the creek. So,
Way to go.
he's
59,
close.
right?
He's
Yeah.
close. I mean, the broadcaster's jinx. So we got things, and they get the ESPN Plus. They get if you want to watch the golf, you want to watch Major League Baseball. They have the package over here, and of course, every LSU baseball game and other SEC games are on over here. Ask your bartenders. Great weather right now. The patio, it's been packed as I drive by each and every day. So looking forward to LSU and Bama this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Come on by over here to the original Walk-Ons within steps of Alec Box Stadium.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross Tech, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross Tech exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
Our 2025 Dreams Come True Radiothon presented by the Baton Rouge Clinic is happening right now, and we couldn't make dreams come true without your help. This year, Service Chevrolet, Luba, Subaru of Baton Rouge, and Duplessis Builders have each pledged to match your donations once we reach $2,000. Whatever amount you can spare will get us that much closer to making more dreams come true for local kids suffering life-threatening illnesses.
Visit 1045ESPN.com to donate today.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales. By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crowntown Room at Dozy Place. The Crowntown Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with a sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Louisiana Lanyap on Perkins and Bluebonnet. Winner of the most 225's Best of Awards. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. And Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street to now in the South Downs Shopping Center. Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Weekday mornings at 7 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walkons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Also brought to you by the Thibodaux Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux. And, of course, online, it's doitbest.com/Thibodaux Store. Getting your property in shape here as we get into the spring a little bit more. Get all of your garden tools, all of your planters, your seeders, your potting soils, any of your garden tools, hoses, wheelbarrows, wagons. Get all of that at the Thibodaux Store. And a lot of these things are available for delivery. And on the website, daily specials where you can save some money. Once you get the yard in shape, pick out a new grill, maybe a big green egg cooker. They've got those like Jimmy got and all of the accessories to go along with it. Cajun cookware that can be shipped directly to your door. It's all on hand at the Thibodaux Store. You're going fishing down the coast. Tons of fishing gear available there. Custom-made cypress furniture, crawfish, jambalaya, pots. You can get it all at the Thibodaux Store. Again, 900 St. Patrick Highway.
It's an outdoor cook's dream, man. You don't think I won't be having a big green egg going Easter weekend. You betcha, baby.
LSU tonight against Alabama, 7 o'clock start. It's been a rough go for Alabama in the last two series openers. They were beaten by the run rule both times, 13-3 to Mississippi State last week and 10-0 at Auburn the week before that. Because of that, and also because this is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, they are changing their starting pitcher. They're going to go with Tyler Fay tonight, who is basically an opener. He made his first start last week against Mississippi State. He went 3 1/3 innings. Everything before that was 2 or 1 inning stints. So I wouldn't expect to see him very long in this game, probably one time through the order, maybe a time and a half through the order. LSU will go with Cade Anderson, who pitched great 2 weeks ago with the complete game shutout. I thought he pitched better than his line indicated last week, but he'll get the ball for LSU. And the other thing, of course, is that LSU has the best 1-2 punch out of the bullpen in the entire Southeastern Conference. They have Zach Cowan and Kason Evans both ready to go in multi-inning spots. So LSU a 240 favorite. Is that holding tonight? They should be the favorite tonight by a pretty significant margin, I would say, given the pitching matchup.
More shenanigans out of Alabama when they come here with this rotation, huh? Does anybody check in with the Great American Ballpark? Just obviously.
Sure. You know the way that that Zane Adams had gotten roughed up the last 2 weeks. They moved him from first game to the third game. He'll pitch on Saturday against Chase Shores. But Alabama started off really hot. They went to A&M and swept the series, which got everybody's attention because at that point A&M was still in the top 3 in the country. Well, I say the top 3 in the country. They had been a preseason number 1 in some polls. They had lost some non-conference games, but they were still thought of as a team that was going to be right there in the thick of things. And when Alabama went there and swept them, it got everybody's attention. Since then, it's been a much rougher go. They lost a series against Tennessee. No no shame there. Tennessee's really good. And they won the series at Oklahoma, but the last 2 weeks it's been rough. They've lost both series. They lost at Auburn and they lost at home against Mississippi State. And like I said, those Friday night games, those game ones of the series, have really gotten a little bit out of hand. So we'll see what LSU does tonight. They came out of it a little bit in the game against McNeese. They juggled up at the top of the order. They just shuffle the deck. Try something different when you're kind of slumping. It worked, but McNeese was through 9 pitchers on Tuesday night. So this will be a tougher test, obviously.
Well, I mean, Bama's the number 11 RPI team, kind of coming back to reality a little bit, losing their last 2 series, but might have been a blessing in disguise for that coach to get run off. This guy's better,
Yeah.
I mean, to have a top 15 RPI, they weren't close to that, when he was there. So, he's been he can be a little bit of a scene. He was actually fined and suspended for basically umpire abuse early, I think very early in the conference season.
I think it was in the Tennessee series.
Yeah, it was very, very early. I think it was one of the series before. No, it was the Tennessee series. Yeah, they won that first game and then lost the next 2 at home for that one. But Charlie, geez, I mean, you got advantage starting pitching, you got advantage on bullpen. I mean, at home. I mean, this is one LSU's got to have tonight.
Yeah, and they got to have this series. It gets a lot harder after this. You got Tennessee coming up. You've got Arkansas in 3 weeks, and then looking at it, I was looking at some of the regional projections this morning. They've got LSU just outside the top 8. They got them at number 9 right now. You're going to have a very heavy SEC presence. So you may have some teams that are right there around 8 or 9, might not necessarily get a top 8. So you need this one. And for LSU in the second half of the season, you want to win this series at home. You got those 2 really, really tough series. South Carolina, not very good at the end of the slate. You probably be able to go and take a series there. A&M's a wild card. I don't know if A&M has turned a corner, or if the early season slump has gotten behind them, or if they're really good. They've won 5 in a row. 3 of them were against South Carolina, but 2 of them were at Tennessee. I think it's a real interesting game tonight for A&M at Arkansas. I think it's a game that they can win. It's one of the picks we did on the podcast this morning. Yep. But I'm not certain of it. Baum's a really tough place to play, so we'll see if A&M's hot bats continue. They've been red hot.
Max, Charlie's picks. Tell them where to find it. Three picks for tonight's SEC slate.
Yeah, of course, it's part of the Sports Bettors Paradise podcast, but now you can look for it on the College Sports Rush, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Look up College Sports Rush. Jimmy and Charlie giving their best bets. That's already out. And then later today on the College Sports Rush YouTube channel, you'll also find video with some graphics and stuff of the college baseball plays for tonight.
Don't forget our friends over at Legacy Title. If you're buying, building, refinancing, nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds of Legacy Title, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service is what you get when you dial 296-0060. Ashley Bonham Donald, Mariana Broussard Haynes, Adrian Reescalata, Michael Platt, Natalie, and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, a Legacy Title.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on. Whether you're a homeowner, commercial contractor, or industrial business, we have the space for you. Our secure, versatile storage units are ready to meet your needs. Contractors, keep your site organized and efficient. Store your materials with us and access them anytime you need. Businesses, industries of any size, Workbox LLC is your trusted partner for flexible, safe storage. Workbox 343-4886 and workboxllc.com. Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Our 2025 Dreams Come True Radiothon presented by the Baton Rouge Clinic is happening right now, and we couldn't make dreams come true without your help. This year, Service Chevrolet, Luba, Subaru of Baton Rouge, and Duplessis Builders have each pledged to match your donations once we reach $2,000. Whatever amount you can spare will get us that much closer to making more dreams come true for local kids suffering life-threatening illnesses.
Visit 1045ESPN.com to donate today.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus, $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today.
Hey, can you guys shoot Colucci a text?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you shoot Colucci a text? He's not answering. Thank you.
25-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Today's show also brought to you in part by Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners, because when it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike. Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you as well as your business partners and your tax professionals, your legal team to make sure all your retirement goals are achieved. And, you know, they can do this. Doesn't matter what part of your life you're in, what your income is, what your age is. They'll tailor make a plan for you, and it will work for you for a lifetime. I know, because that's what they've done for me. Contact Philip Fontenot and his staff, 337-981-1376, or online, coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, member FINRA, SIPC.
Hit it, Jordan.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, the Colucci man, and it's time of the year. Derby is a couple of weeks away. We snuck into bluegrass. The weather couldn't stop us there. What is it? The Santa Anita champ is going to be highly thought of, but it's also the last night of the regular season of the NHL, and the playoffs start on Saturday. Colucci, anything in tonight's card that you're looking for? Maybe a little bit of a spot here?
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I mean, the game was going to mean a lot, Jimmy, to Columbus, but the Montreal Canadiens came through and were able to beat Carolina last night. So all the playoff games are pretty much solidified. You know, you got to look at teams like Calgary tonight, just because of the fact that the Kings definitely don't want to have any injuries to their roster, getting ready for a big series. Same thing with the Red Wings, against the Maple Leafs. The playoff teams are definitely going to rest their players, and Carolina did that last night, and it played right into Montreal's favor. So, it's definitely a weird scenario now, guys. You want to look forward to the playoffs, the series, what's going on, and go from there, because it just becomes too difficult to handicap the last night of the regular season when there's nothing on the line and you have so many, backup goaltenders, guys being brought up from different leagues and so forth. So, you saw that play out last night with the Hurricanes. They had 5 players sit, including Sebastian Aho, Stahl, all their key players. I mean, granted, Kochetkov was between the pipes, but Montreal got the job done after some scary moments for the fans in Montreal. That was definitely, everybody on the edge of their seat. They should have solidified that a week ago. And now they somewhat come stumbling into the playoffs as opposed to riding high. They had won 6 in a row, then they lost 3 in a row, then they won last night. So, still winning 7 out of 10. You laugh and say they're stumbling into the playoffs, but they have a lot to rectify because they were playing at such a high level going into these final 4 games, and to have to win on the final game of the season, including a loss to Chicago, was just, it was kind of perplexing. Whereas on the other hand, Jimmy, the Vegas Golden Knights are rolling. I mean, this team is monstrous. Look at them right now. And I didn't think they were capable with this roster, but guys like Dvorak, who just can't say enough. And the only thing I'll say about the Golden Knights, they need that good goaltending play, guys, to keep it going and keep the momentum. But they're flying under the radar. And like I said, shopping outside of Vegas, you could get some good odds to win the Stanley Cup on this team, as opposed to here where our ticket count is massive and everybody with $5 bet them to win the Stanley Cup.
Kaluch, so the Western Conference, the top 2 picks, Dallas and Colorado, are playing each other in the first round. That not only that, but they're the first choice, Dallas at plus 700, and tied for second choice, Colorado with Florida at plus 800 to win the whole thing. They're playing in the first round of the playoffs. How does this happen, and is this being criticized?
Well, no, this is the landscape of the NHL, and any team could be beaten on any given night. That's what I constantly say about that. This is where you look at these teams and they're so evenly matched that it's just like, how do you really justify betting against one or the other? You know what I'm saying? It's what's great about the NHL playoffs. You don't scrutinize this because all the matchups, in my opinion, are definitely going to be difficult. Look at the first round matchups. I mean, St. Louis had won about 15 out of 20 coming down the stretch. Let's keep that in mind. So, they're another team that's hot. NHL is, it's definitely about, I would say, street when you're handicapping, as well as hot goaltenders and so forth. So I would throw all of that out the window and look at how the Dallas Stars are playing, guys. Who is making the odds down there in your neck of the woods? Dallas has lost like 10 in a row, guys. How could they be 7-1? There's no value there. Colorado is going to beat this team just because of the fact that they're not limping into the playoffs. They're like clawing, basically holding on to a cliff going into the playoffs. And I believe Colorado, with their firepower, with McKinnon healthy, with Cale Makar, the best defenseman in the NHL, will beat this team. I love them in this series. I don't think Dallas has any value to win the Stanley Cup. Even if they come out of this series, it's going to be such a long haul. I mean, look at that game. They left the arena last night after a 5-1 dejected loss to the Predators. Before that, 6-4 to the Red Wings. Lose 5-3 to Utah. Lose 4-0 to Winnipeg. Lose to Canucks 6-5. And you have to go way back. I mean, I can't even find their list. I'm looking on the schedule. They beat the Kraken on March 31st. So you're talking about a team now that for 2.5 weeks has been losing, and I don't get upset at that. They just fell into the position where Colorado got hot. They got cold. They couldn't now finish Winnipeg, and now you have this great first-round series. And like I said, all the first-round series are great. Jets and Blues. Golden Knights in my opinion, have a substantial advantage over the Wild. But the Kings and Oilers, look at the line on that. I mean, you're talking about the defending Western Conference champion Edmonton Oilers. It's minus 120 in that series. So the Kings are battle-tested as well. All those Western Conference matchups are very, very tight, guys. Keep that in mind. And even if you go to the Eastern Conference, the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers in the series are only -1 point. So this is how the NHL is, Jimmy, and this is what makes it the best playoff sport in the world, because you're not going to see odds like the Golden State Warriors being a favorite against the 2 seed like in the NBA, where I think that's a joke too. I think the Rockets are going to beat them. So the NHL is a lot different, guys.
I mean, Charlie, think about that. So to Dwayne's point, so Dallas, and this is from the local shop here at the Queen, a DraftKings outlet, they're +700, the favorite to win it all. But there's 10 teams between +700 and +1,200. So, I mean, it is jumbled. There's no doubt. But tell me, the Colorado, so Dallas is the higher seed. Dallas is hosting Colorado. They have home ice advantage. They're underdog in the first round. They're the favorite to win this whole thing. What? That is unheard of.
Right.
That's unheard of.
Exactly.
I mean, my gosh.
And the futures market, you know what it is? It's the futures market, guys. And, you guys understand it. You guys cover this every day. There was so much money bet on Dallas when they were really playing at a high level that's why their odds for the Stanley Cup are set. The NHL series prices are the now factor. That's who's hot now, who's playing at a high level now, how they're going into the playoffs. So you guys understand that. And that's why Dallas right now has their back against the wall, and they're going to be, up against it. They better rectify things very quickly. And, don't get me wrong, home ice could help that. A hot goaltender, Jake Ottinger, he's one of the best in the game. But this becomes very difficult to handicap at this time of the season, especially when you're touted so highly, like you said, Jim.
All right, so a lot of these series are set, and they start on Saturday. Do you like anybody in the game ones or for the series of these opening 8 series? I know you already gave us Colorado.
Yeah, definitely. Colorado on Saturday is definitely a go-to factor. Also, they haven't really announced the schedule for Sunday, but I know the Vegas Golden Knights are playing at 12 o'clock at T-Mobile Arena Easter Sunday. That's going to be off the hook crowd right there. I think it's going to be very difficult for Minnesota to come in, but I've seen this Wild team play some great games here at T-Mobile over the past 3-4 seasons. So anything is possible. But we do not have the times yet for the Sunday games, unfortunately. I would even take a shot, though, guys. You're seeing under 2-1 on the Winnipeg Jets. So the Blues are alive. I would take the Blues in that 3 o'clock game on Saturday. Probably take the 150, 155 in that range and run with it. I'm not sold on Winnipeg yet, even though they played very good the last 2 weeks of the season. They dominated the Vegas Golden Knights with a backup goaltender the last time they played here at T-Mobile, if that's any measuring stick. They won the President's Trophy, but that's always a jinx to me, guys. The President's Trophy, I think you got to go back to the Chicago Blackhawks for the last team that won, winning the overall regular season title, Jimmy. So that's a definite weight on your neck, without a doubt. The Montreal series.
Real quick, Dwayne.
Like
nice price on St. Louis Saturday, coming back plus 150 at Winnipeg. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. And Colorado, definitely. I would definitely take those two. Like I was saying, in the Montreal series, they're pretty low. So the Canadians, maybe if they could get things together like they were 2 weeks ago, they have a shot against the Capitals. Don't sell the devil short, even though they're playing without their best player, Jack Hughes. 250 is a lot to take in a series. I would definitely look at a plus there. The Hurricanes, they've been overvalued all season, guys. They've been one of those teams that they're just set way, way too high. Oilers, Kings, toss-up. I mean, all these series are very difficult. I'm going to text you guys some of my picks for Sunday and the remainders of the schedule, because we don't have anything set, guys. Only those first 2 games, unfortunately. And like I said tonight, look at the Flames, look at the Red Wings, look at the teams that, they just missed the playoffs, but they still feel good about themselves, and they're playing teams that have to stick, guys.
Very good. How are you guys doing the draft? Are you fooling with it at all?
No, we didn't fool with it last year. We're not going to fool with it this year. Chris, it's a market here when you're a brick and mortar, guys. We don't have all the handle, and, you just start to get, I hate to say it, crushed by a lot of these, sharper bettors that are watching every maneuver that these kids are making from the combine up until now. So, Chris may have a few, how many quarterbacks will be drafted in the first round and so forth, but we haven't put up anything concrete as of yet. just looking forward to all these playoff matchups. We got tons of props on the NBA playing game. That's been just a fabulous handle. Everybody's looking forward to the NBA playoffs, and everybody in Las Vegas is geared up for the NHL playoffs and the Vegas Golden Knights. So we have so much handle and focus on that, guys. I'll definitely let you guys know as soon as we have draft props. I put out the sheet on my X account and all that. So we'll definitely have something. But Chris is, he's very leery, as I am, with this NFL draft. We don't like to expose ourselves.
All right, so 14 of the 16 slots are set for the NBA. They're just trying to get those 8 seeds left. But any significant action as of late, always a Lakers town, but any other action, OKC, you guys have any liability on them, or is it all Lakers?
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking right now, guys. But OKC was a focal point in the market. I mean, they played so well this year, guys. So, you definitely have to keep your eye on that. They're a top team. To win the NBA championship, the Celtics, we don't have liability, but they're only got plus 180. Our big liability, as you said, Mr. Odd, I'm looking right at the screen there. Los Angeles Lakers, Golden State Warriors, same old same. And even my Houston Rockets, small liability, but people were smart to jump on them. Houston Rockets definitely have a good team. They're so well coached. And it's just a matter of time before they start to really get things going. I'm looking at Sunday. They're a 1.5-point favorite against the Warriors. Yet I believe the Warriors opened up the favorite in that series. Minus 175 at the Rampart in South Point. I'll take the Rockets all day. And there's still some value, at 50-1 for them to win the title. We do have a little liability on them, but like I said, the mass liability do land on the Lakers, Warriors, and even a little here on, I'm noticing the Clippers as well. So we'll see how this all plays out. It's West Coast action, guys. West Coast action.
Clippers and Nuggets, straight pick. Yeah, Lakers almost $2 favorites, even though the T-Wolves have home court advantage. And Max, what do you think about the Warriors? I mean, they're going with the more established thing. Here you go, the $1 million question. What happens in the regular season? How much translates to the postseason? Charlie, the 2 biggest teams, the Rockets at the West and the Cavaliers in the East.
Yeah, the Cavs have won the second most games in the NBA this year, and you're getting 5-1 on them. I understand that the playoff experience may not be what it is for some of these other teams, but it was not flukish. They didn't go on a 2-week run. For the last 5 months, they've been the best team in the Eastern Conference, and you're getting a really nice number on them.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Even 550 here. Charlie, 550.
Okay, 550.
Now, you see now you can address Charlie. You address me as Mr. Odd earlier. You can address him as Mr. Hannegriff. It's okay.
Mr. Hannegriff.
You say Mr. Hannegriff. I turn around and look for my father.
Last week was one of the most fun shows, Jimmy, without a doubt. We missed you, but I refer to him as Hanny. You were going back talking about Hanny Time, the great show on Tuesday that we need to bring back.
I love you, Kaluch. That's
Mr.
perfect.
Hannegriff,
Perfect. It's so much fun because you were gone.
I needed a little break. I needed to go a little.
I hear you.
Watch a little.
How was it? I mean, your world
It was really cool, man. It was really cool. You go to Nice, Antibes, Monte Carlo. You don't have a nice time. Well, you kind of just not trying. So
you don't know how to live. Right?
Yeah, man. Yes, indeed. Kaluch, you're the best, man. Listen, text me over, even the shows you're off, so I can relay some of these playoff hockey picks as we get into. We'll post them on Twitter as well at Jimmy Out 1045. Of course, at NY Bookie Dwayne is a must follow right now for the NHL postseason. It is a lot of fun. It's just amazing. The favorite is underdog in the opening series. That is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
That tells you about the just the uncertainty and just how wide open it is. So for that, there's no predictability in this postseason. You're the best, Kaluch. We appreciate it. Kaluch time. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, I love you guys. Definitely. And we'll have some Derby picks as well, guys.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We will talk on that in a week or two as well. Dwayne Kaluch, again, at NY Bookie Dwayne, a must follow right now. Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big, with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years, including their newest branch at Burbank and Bluebonnet. United Community Bank, a great team of bankers: Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, Prentice Wilkes. Again, United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Haniger for Total Maintenance. Now is the time to get your AC cleaned and checked before those sweltering temperatures arrive. Ensure your unit is performing at max efficiency, lower your monthly bills, and prolong the life of your central air conditioner. Right now, mention my name or Jimmy Ott and get $100 off that service. Down from $179 to $79. Call Total Maintenance for generators, electricity, and plumbing issues. In Baton Rouge, 480-1000, and in New Orleans, call 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Our 2025 Dreams Come True Radiothon, presented by the Baton Rouge Clinic, is happening right now, and we couldn't make dreams come true without your help. This year, Service Chevrolet, Luba, Subaru of Baton Rouge, and Duplessis Builders have each pledged to match your donations once we reach $2,000. Whatever amount you can spare will get us that much closer to making more dreams come true for local kids suffering life-threatening illnesses.
Visit 1045ESPN.com to donate today.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources, we'll help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross-Ted, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross-Ted exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino. Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salad, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Show's available on demand, 1045ESPN.com, as well as LouisianaSports.net. I try to learn something every day. You know, you wake up. I think I learned today that the Southeastern Conference sponsors equestrian. I don't think I knew that before I
Really?
walked in here. It's on one of the big screens on, I think that's SEC Network. 4 teams in. I had to look this up. I didn't even. If you'd asked me this morning after I ate breakfast, say true or false, the Southeastern Conference sponsors equestrian. I think I would have said false, and I would have been wrong. 4 teams, equestrian. Okay, but Max, you probably know them, right?
Do you want me to spoil the result? I mean, it's still on.
I don't think anybody cares who wins.
The 4 seed beat the 3 seed.
The 4 seed beat
quite an upset.
Okay, so if you had to guess, well, you can't guess. I wouldn't have guessed that South Carolina had equestrian. They do. I wouldn't have guessed that Auburn had equestrian. They do. Georgia, Texas A&M. I guess I would have guessed, but Texas doesn't have an equestrian team. So I learned something new today. I knew that there were some sports that teams competing from the SEC that the league doesn't sponsors. Oklahoma has a men's gymnastics team, for instance.
Really?
Missouri and Oklahoma have wrestling teams. Kentucky and South Carolina play men's soccer, and Kentucky has a rifle team, co-ed rifle team.
Texas has A&M has a meat judging.
Meat
team,
judging?
I believe. Something like that.
I
got to protect your whiskey in Kentucky, boy.
So
learn how to shoot.
Consider today's lesson is closed. Hour number 2, straight ahead from Walkons, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crowntown Room at Dozy Place. The Crowntown Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of free large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with a sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Louisiana Lanyap on Perkins and Blue Bonnet. Winner of the most 225's Best of Awards. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. And Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street and now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his Blue Period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And the wind go travels down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remember this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710. With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson, Edward Jones, member SIPC.
You want a dry and cozy car, but your windshield leaks water and makes your car wet and smelly. That's why you need Advanced Windshield, the problem solvers in auto glass repair. We use quality parts tools to ensure a perfect seal every time. Visit us at advancedwindshield.com.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing 16-7970.
After further review with Matt Moscona, weekday afternoons at 3 on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, let's go out to Las Vegas. Hook it up with Matt Humans from VSiN. Matt, got a lot to catch up with you on. How you doing, bub?
Hey, pretty good, man. What are we talking today? Tennis?
No, but
equestrian last segment.
My worst March Madness, for the whole tournament ever for me. So it got pretty good. Did okay, late, but boy, one thing that it was a pet peeve of mine. How it came back, Matt, you played basketball. I played basketball. I used to officiate basketball in high school after I get off of work. And I'm talking about middle school on. Everybody had an inbounds play. They just, you set a pick or you run a play or you did. They had inbounds plays. I've seen so many games this year blown because I couldn't get the inbounds pass in. So your thoughts on Duke blowing that lead against Houston?
Yeah, teams. Well, Kelvin Sampson ran a pretty nice inbounds pass against Purdue. Other than that, I can't remember too many. I think missed free throws bothered me as much as anything. Turnovers against full court pressure, missed free throws. It would have been a great tournament for me if Duke had won the thing. Of course, Duke did not. Duke blew a 14-point lead under 10 minutes to go, and still tournament turned out okay for me. But as kind of turned the page. The Masters was wild. It was a wild ride. Like the Handy last week, I had Justin Rose at 125 to 1, and I turned that into a profitable ticket, obviously, and the playoffs helped tremendously.
Yeah,
as far as that went, but that's the way it goes, man. You come up short with a lot of these futures plays. Sometimes you just got to find a way to turn a profit on them, right? Duke 12 to 1, Justin Rose 125 to 1. You got to find a way to make the best of it. And I know you do that a lot, Timmy. So that's the way it's been the last couple of weeks. It's been good. It has not been great.
Yeah, you talked about, and the playoff gives you such a long break because we are behind watching the TV to the actual action. There's no doubt about that. The best price that I could find was minus 140 on McElroy to hedge going into. That's what you had as well.
Yep.
But you talk about
the 140 gives you a chance. I had Rory plus 330 on Friday night, but the 140 into the playoffs gives you a chance to hedge it again, right? And I didn't want to hedge too much because I felt like when Rory blew that putt, he didn't know where his mind was.
Yeah.
And could he bounce back? How resilient was he going to be? Was he going to be able to, gather himself and win the playoff? Because Justin Rose at that point had the momentum. You know what? Rose hit a hell of a shot. In fact, the thing I think hit about a foot from the cup. He was unfortunate that it ran about 12 feet by the hole, and Rory got lucky. It was one of the best shots of his career. His stayed 2 feet from the hole, and he had a tap in. If Rory had a 5-foot putt, he probably would have blown that too. But it's just one of those things, a little bit random the way that thing worked out. But when you go into the golf playoff, then it gives you a second chance to hedge, and that's what really turned out well for me. But that was a wild tournament last week. I really think I don't want to be hyperbolic. Let's say a top 3 Masters, at least the final round that I think I've seen the last 30 years.
Was one of the more memorable. I mean, it required some. I think Jim Nantz said Rory hit the 3 shots of a lifetime on the in the final round, but because he's mixing in these double bogeys, I mean, he's making. I mean, it was the lead changes, or just, but it was more. And I think golf is a big winner because they finally have really flourished, really provided some highly entertaining programming without Tiger Woods. And Tiger's done. We can debate, and it's just a matter of how much he's impacted the game. And listen, with golf status right now, the state of where they are, they need his impact off the course as much as anybody. So I just think that maybe you got more players, maybe whatever it is, you got some stars, man. And
imagine if they all played together.
I know. In spite of having these guys split and basically the live guys in obscurity.
Yeah, and you watch some of the live guys have fallen off the map. Look at Brooks Koepka. He's not even competitive last week. Phil Mickelson missed the cut. Some of those guys
John
off
Rahm.
the radar, but then John Rahm has totally lost the edge. You could call Rambo's just not what he was. The one guy who I think is really likable on the Live Tour has really transformed his image is obviously Bryson DeChambeau. There were a lot of people who hated him 3 years ago and now love him, or at least like him. And, I'm probably in that group. I used to think DeChambeau was really annoying. And now I kind of like the guy. Of course, it helped that I want to bet on him to win the U.S. Open last night.
Okay, all right, because you'd be calling him a phoney if you didn't cash a ticket on him. It's a little over the top with his act, man. Come on,
It is. But I think there is some of it's real, and I think he has become more likable. I thought he was so annoying 2 or 3 years ago. And he has rehabbed his image a little bit. I think, it's not fake when he's walking through the crowds and he's slapping hands with people and talking with the fans. And, what he did last year when he hugged that was a girl in the wheelchair or whatever in the middle of the round. A lot of these players walk through and won't even acknowledge the fans and just, act like they're not there. I think DeChambeau actually has done a good job of interacting with fans. As far as Tiger goes, you talk about kind of a fall from grace, and we could talk for a long time about why his body's broken down with all these injuries, and there's reasons behind that. But I mean, he poses with that Donald Trump Jr.'s ex-wife, and puts a photo up on Instagram saying it's love. And this guy has turned into a clown. He is, now. He's never going to win again. He's never going to win a golf tournament again unless it's a seniors tournament, something like that down the road. But he needs to just be an ambassador for the game. I think what they're doing with that Tuesday night golf league is okay, even though I really don't like watching it. But you're right. Golf is going to be okay. Even they'll eventually get the guys back from Live and everybody's going to play on the same tour. I think golf's going to be okay. And like you said, there are stars now. There's a lot of players out there who don't really need Tiger anymore to boost the betting handle on these tournaments or in the majors.
Well, the guy I miss is the mullet man. And he's another one that was, man, he was near the top. He was a star. And we cashed some nice tickets on the mullet man. So I'll be, but still, man, he is, he's gone. I mean, there's nothing to, So.
I have real hopes that when Tiger entered I'm going to call them negotiations between the PGA Tour and Live, that he would be the one guy that, whether you like him or don't, everybody listens to him.
No, he's respected.
Yes. And I thought that it would greatly hasten the remerger of the two tours, and that hasn't happened. And it's a little bit of pause as to exactly this was supposed to be done 16 months ago and still is lingering. I had hoped that his presence would have sped that along, and that
maybe he's not to draw a golf term. Maybe he's not committed to it, Charlie.
I can't blame it on him. There's plenty of blame to go around. I'm not a big fan of the
but he can help get some things done,
and he's tried. But for whatever reason, they don't seem to be moving in the direction.
It's about this time every year where we say, this draft seems a little bit trickier than we think, but come this weekend or early next week, we're going to jump on a few. Where are you at right now as far as your draft? Do you have any have any bets that you've made already, or would it just some thoughts and some angles?
Yeah, we talked about this on this show a little bit last week. I think I only had one play at that point. I think I've got 7 right now, 7 draft bets. But this could be trickier, and it is trickier now because the draft market's drying up, the prop market. So many books are just gun shy to put up stuff. There used to be, everyone was excited about the draft. Didn't matter what sports book it was. You could find draft position props and everything over the board. You really got to look hard now to find stuff outside of DraftKings and FanDuel, which still do a good job of putting up a lot of NFL draft stuff. Good luck. You're not going to find much out there. Caesars, William Hill's got a little bit. But I talked to the guys at the Westgate Superbook and Circa. They don't want to put up squat. And so it is going to be tougher this year. I tell you, I bet Jackson Dart draft position under 24.5. Darts, let's see, I made another bet on Darts. So Darts be the second quarterback selected, behind Cam Ward, obviously, at plus 200. I bet Matthew Golden from Texas to be the first wide receiver selected at plus 200. Let's see, I've got Ashton Genty to go to the Raiders at minus 150, and Shador Sanders to go to the Steelers at plus 550. And let's see, we've got Matthew Golden under 17.5 on a draft prop. Forgot about that. Under 17.5. Paul Stone said he found that. And that was up at DraftKings. I think there's a good chance Golden's going to go to the Cowboys number 12. I do think he's going to be the first wide receiver off the board. We talked about this last week. I don't know if the Saints are in love with Jackson Dart or not, but it sure looks like they don't like Shador Sanders. So I think there's I've liked Jackson Dart a lot the last couple of years. I know he had a poor game against Kentucky last season, but the whole Ole Miss football team had a bad day. And Lane Kiffin had a bad day. So, every quarterback prospect you look at is going to have at least one bad, maybe more, bad game on tape that you could point out as flaws. Remember how bad Caleb Williams was for USC when they got beat up at Notre Dame? So there are so many things you can talk about with these quarterbacks. I think Dart is probably the second best quarterback in this draft. Hopefully he's the second best off the board. That's the way I bet it.
What Dart bet? Because you went through them pretty fast. What did you have Dart under? Or what was the bet?
Under 20.
Under 24.5.
Under 24.5. Okay.
24
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Under 24.5.
And Dart's be the second quarterback off the board at 2-1 odds.
Well, I'm just going to give you a little advice. Tread carefully if you're trying to predict what the Saints are going to do. Okay, with that, I mean that is a complete mess down in New Orleans. I mean,
it puts you well inside of the Steelers pick, though. If Sanders comes off the board in the top 10, the next team that really wants a quarterback is Pittsburgh, and you got a little bit of slack in the rope there with Pittsburgh at 21.
So, speaking of Paul Stone, he won your college hoops contest. He's got what's the date for the Cabana party?
First week of the college football season. I believe is it August 30th?
Okay, Labor Day weekend.
Right?
Yeah.
We're gonna have that Saturday. I don't know if you guys are coming back out to Vegas, but I'm trying to set that up for him at Stadium Swim, the Paul Stone Cabana party. I believe it's going to be the first Saturday of college football right around August 30th. Yeah.
That sounds like a party. That sounds like a party to me. So, yes, indeed. So I want to see the girls come out with the PAUL, with the big signs with the food spraying everywhere and stuff. We'll be done with his tab in 30 minutes. So I mean, it's good. You bring back that play too, Matt. And another thing, and I hate to sound like the old man of basketball, but man, when your team is inbounding the ball under your goal, well, you play zone for that reason. So you force them to with the entry pass away from the outside the lane. So, but right. Hey, look, Painter and Purdue are not the only team that just plays man under their own goal.
Well, that's one thing. Some coaches are stubborn about that. They always play man, and Matt Painter is one of those coaches. You just can't get away from man, and it burned him because they got crossed up there. And it was a nice play by Kelvin Sampson, but it was a big screw up on Purdue defensively. But I'm doing a show this afternoon, Follow the Money Show. Mitch and Paul are on vacation, and we got a guy from the field of 68 coming on to talk about the transfer portal and all the movement in college basketball, because I really think if you're going to bet the college basketball futures board, you're going to have to jump on some of this stuff now before people realize what's going on. There's a lot of movement. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Darian Williams at Texas Tech, because Tech looks really strong.
Yes.
That 30-1 is not going to hang out there. There's a 30-1 at a couple spots. St. John's at 20-1. Those are a couple bets I have made, but you really got to stay on top of it. It's crazy how many players are moving. And I think it's going to be hard to find sleepers because, we've been talking about Cinderella, being kind of knocked out of the tournament early. It's going to be, I think it's going to be harder to find the long shot teams. And you're going to have to look in the, somewhere in the 15 to 40-1 range is where you're going to find your value now in college basketball.
Did I read this right? Baylor's down to 0 scholarship players right now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they
Chad Baker Mazzara, by the way, in the portal. He will be 26 next year. And he is
26 years old. He's still my good. And but he's maturing gracefully. So,
I've asked, is there such a thing as eligibility requirements anymore?
This guy, he's the oldest and the dumbest player in college basketball. I mean, quite an accomplishment. But, speaking of Texas Tech, in a loss, sometimes, in a loss, I thought he coached the pants off of Golden, man. I mean, Florida, the two guys just make 4 straight threes. And I mean, like some tough shots too. I mean, I thought it was, you turn, they missed 2 front ends of 1-and-1. I mean, one guy's an 84% free throw shooter who missed one. I mean, it's just a bad luck. Like all of a sudden, all that work to build that lead is gone in a minute span. But I was it's nothing that he did. No breakdowns on the bench in his coaching management.
No, absolute breakdown there by Texas Tech in terms of the free throw shooting.
Yeah.
A couple turnovers, missed front ends and 1-on-1s. That can't happen. But the coaching job by Grant McCaslin was outstanding to put his team in that position. And then his players on the floor just broke down at the end. Like you said, Florida hits 4 straight threes. Think about that too. How close Florida was being knocked out that day. Should have been knocked out that day. And then goes on to win the tournament. And then you got Duke up 14, blows the game. Probably should have won the championship. Duke didn't make it to the championship game. Auburn really faded down the stretch. Part of it was John Abrams' injury, but look at the 3-point shooting for that team in the loss in the Final Four. And then you think about Houston, probably should have won the championship game, then has turnovers on 4 consecutive possessions to blow the game. What kind of a tightrope Florida walk on the way to winning that championship, right? I don't think it was a great coaching job necessarily by Todd Golden. I think his team got a little bit lucky, and his star players just stepped up and hit big shots, right?
Yeah, no question. UConn, Texas Tech, and Houston, all those games, they had some serious breaks go their way, but also they hit those players hit some clutch shots as well. Mm-hmm. But it reminds me a little bit of Virginia's run. They're pulling. There was about 3 games at Virginia, where the Purdue game was one of them. Texas Tech was one of them, and then Auburn. In Virginia's run that year, they won it. So, I mean, and Houston, look, they didn't win it. I kind of canceled them out, but I was wrong. I mean, it was maybe his best chance, certainly his best chance from here looking back. I don't know if he's going to be in position like he was to win that thing like he was this year.
Well, that's the last thing I know about out of time, but the field of 68 and a couple other spots have Houston as a preseason number 1 team for next season. I don't know how you can lose Jamal Shedd off last year's team and all the players Houston's losing this year and still be the preseason number 1. I'm really not quite buying it with Houston. I don't think there's any odds value, but if the books, if they want to make Houston the favorite, I'll be happy to bet some other teams further down the board.
I think they may be dependent on some freshmen a little bit, and that's not usually their culture. But that, from what I understand, they had a really strong recruiting class. So, kid out of New Orleans who transferred out to play for Randy Livingston was one of them. Is a big guy that they got. So, but that's not a program that leans heavily on depends on their freshmen a lot. So. All right, Matt. Next week, it'll be on draft day. We can still bet it in Louisiana. So, any opinions, man, let's get ready, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if you guys find out what the Saints are doing, please let me know.
you don't expect a call. So I mean, thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
Okay, you bet. Thanks.
Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows for windows, doors, siding, and shutters. Top quality windows, doors, siding, and interior shutters. Exceptional customer service that I can speak firsthand for that. There is no doubt about that, man. They're very professional. Come in, evaluate your situation, put together a computer rendering, kind of gets you like this, you don't like this, and kind of modify it to your liking. Schedule the installment, let you know when the materials are in, and man, when they tell you they're going to be there at a certain time, they're there at that certain time with a courtesy call on the way. Just really, really blown away with the products, but also the service as well. And speaking about their shutters, the now offering at Relief Windows interior louvered shutters, interior window shutters from Relief Windows, superior quality, increased home insulation. Plus, our custom-made shutters are installed by our team, ensuring a beautiful product and easy process from start to finish. You may talk about a nice look and touch in your home. The louvered shutters, the interior louvered shutters. 288-8138, Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus, $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Louisiana Lagniappe on Perkins and Bluebonnet. Winner of the most 225's Best of Awards. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. And Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street to now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Get Moss Max and less tax during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, or cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Attention, vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Segan near Perkins.
Our 2025 Dreams Come True Radiothon presented by the Baton Rouge Clinic is happening right now, and we couldn't make dreams come true without your help. This year, Service Chevrolet, Luba, Subaru of Baton Rouge, and Duplessis Builders have each pledged to match your donations once we reach $2,000. Whatever amount you can spare will get us that much closer to making more dreams come true for local kids suffering life-threatening illnesses.
Visit 1045ESPN.com to donate today.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Patial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Back here at the original Walk-Ons live at lunch. And I know Matt was joking when he said, tell us what the Saints are going to do. But when they have that press conference next week, and they're not going to tell you what they're doing, obviously, but that should be one of the more interesting press gatherings in a while in New Orleans, because they're going to have to explain the whole Derek Carr thing from their point of view. And I'm really curious as to what they're going to say, because it's pretty hard to walk this back after what, the reports that come out. They could deny everything. They could say, no, Derek's, still committed to the organization, not at voluntary workouts, so it's a little bit harder to sell.
Where do you think Diana Rossini's getting her information from?
Carr's agent, probably.
Oh, I think she's getting it from Saints.
Okay, well, I think she's getting it from both, but yeah.
Well, wait, but why would Carr's agent give her incriminating information?
No, I don't think that part. I think the part about him wanting to explore trade possibilities came out of his camp. No, not the not the other part.
The faking the injury, basically.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely out of Saints camp.
Okay, so
for sure.
I mean,
so when you go,
they're going to and we'll just have to see if they publicly admit it. But I mean, it's a little bit of a pissing match. Ain't no doubt.
So the first question is going to be, what did you know and when did you know it? How did this affect the contract negotiation? Did he pass a physical? This is an injury from according to her report, this is from 2023. Okay, so
which means they extended him with that knowledge.
Correct. Okay,
but they're trying to say that he's not hurt.
Right. So is he hurt or is he not hurt? Nobody. All we've seen him is selling cars, on podcasts, and we've seen him on vacation. But they're going to get all of these questions. What is their public stance going to be? And they have to do this next week. The league requires you to have a pre-draft press gathering. I can't wait to see what
you're
they're
expecting.
I don't know. That's exactly it. I mean, they got to say something. Is it, we love Derek, he's a part of the organization, or is it going to be like what the Dolphins did? Was it yesterday or the day before with Jalen Ramsey, which is they went out there and said, yeah, we're going to trade him. We have to move him. This is not a tenable situation for us anymore. Would the Saints dare come out?
The GM initially with the Dolphins said, no, we don't plan on trading Ramsey.
Correct. And then they came back yesterday and said, yeah, we got to move him. So do the Saints come out publicly and say, yes, we are actively trying to trade Derek Carr, and if you are, to who and for what? I mean, if you say something like that, you compromise any kind of leverage that you might have. Do you come out and support a Carr, which is going to be incredibly unpopular? I don't know if they care about that, but incredibly unpopular. He's the most unpopular guy in the city right now. It's one of the more intriguing press
after
conferences.
their draft choice, or
no? They got to do something before Thursday. I don't know what day they're going to do it, but they got to say something. The league requires it, and I don't know. I honestly, most of the time, I would say 90%.
So Kellen Moore or Mickey Loomis are going to be doing the talking.
It's usually Loomis, but they could send Kellen. They don't have to send Loomis. They could send Kellen Moore out there
smacking his hubba bubba.
Yeah, exactly. I would say 90% of the press conferences that I've walked into in my life, I've known pretty much what was going to be. This one, I don't know what they're going to say. I really don't.
Oh, I think they're kind of drawing the line that they gave them this deal and thinking that there was no injuries, and they're might be a little skeptical that that's where my money's on.
They certainly gave him this contract with the idea that he was going to be the starting quarterback in September, and if he's not, and they're paying him anyway, yikes! That's bad. Been a bad look been a bad week.
Dylan Cruz just grounded out to short. I mean, it was a bang play. Talk about his tools. I mean, he really got down the line quick. He's 1 for 2 today, so he did single, but it was a sharply hit ball to O'Neal Cruz, not Cruz. He's playing center field now, but to the Pittsburgh shortstop. So just looks a little bit more comfortable at the plate. These 2 plate appearances today.
I hope we talked about this a little bit earlier in the week when he faced Skeens. In addition to him not getting a lot of hits, he's not getting hardly any walks. You know, he's got 3 walks and 18 strikeouts for the season, and he's only got 7 hits.
I'm just saying. I think I
hope he's coming.
I think it might have a chance of kind of getting out of this funk a little bit.
He's too good a hitter to stay down for very to stay at this
Charlotte,
point for very long. But
guys,
everybody goes through slumps, sure.
No, but he hasn't proven it yet. He's too good of a hitter at the college level.
Yeah,
but there have been great hitters at the college level that are drafted just as high as him.
Yeah,
that didn't pan out.
No, I think that there's a chance that if this kept up for another week or so, I could see them sending him to AAA for a month, just to get it worked out, get yourself going, regain your confidence, whatever. If this continues,
they have to.
Yeah. So I hope he comes out of it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt they have to send him down if it continues. I'm saying that I'm seeing some signs that seeing a little bit higher quality at bats right now. So don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance. I mean, man, Total Maintenance came over and did my $79 AC cleaning check. I mean, it's normally $179. It's just $79. And I had to adjust my thermostat because it's operating more efficiently. They showed me the before and after. It is just so dirty. It's just, if they're around where you cut the grass, they're going to get dirty, going to get clogged. It's just stressing. Got to allow these units to breathe. 480-1000. Tell them you heard it on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Mention Charlie, mention me. It's a one-time AC visit. Just cleans it. It's basically a tune-up for your unit. If you don't, your utility bills are higher. It's going to take longer for your home to cool down, and you're risking a more expensive, less convenient repair in the hot summer months when we really stress these units. Tell them you heard it right here on ESPN Radio. It's a one-time AC check, $79 at Total Maintenance, 480-1000.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Sound Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Sound Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. First batch comes out at 5 p.m., weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, near Starring since 1988.
Our 2025 Dreams Come True Radiothon presented by the Baton Rouge Clinic is happening right now, and we couldn't make dreams come true without your help. This year, Service Chevrolet, Luba, Subaru of Baton Rouge, and Duplessis Builders have each pledged to match your donations once we reach $2,000. Whatever amount you can spare will get us that much closer to making more dreams come true for local kids suffering life-threatening illnesses.
Visit 1045ESPN.com to donate today.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors.
Yes.
And?
No, he's still not answering.
Okay. 76 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. Grow your nest egg savings with a great CD rate from Home Bank. For a limited time, you can earn 4.25% annual percentage yield, and you get to choose the term. Pick 3, 7, or 11 months and get this excellent return on your savings. The minimum balance is only $2,500. It really is that simple. Stop by any South Louisiana Home Bank location and speak with a local banker today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. At lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walkons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Today's show also brought to you in part by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff get you to feeling better. If you've got back pain, you got neck pain, you got things that are keeping you from getting around as well as you'd like, or maybe costing you a good night's sleep. Let them get you into a program that's going to target those problem areas and get you to feeling better. Maybe you can get into their exercise and stretching program, get an adjustment that'll do it, or maybe it's a dry needle or electric nerve stimulation, cryo or ultrasound therapy. Let them help you out and get you to feeling a little bit better. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. Jimmy, you talking about the draft, and Matt, I think, was saying that a lot of these books are just not putting stuff up. They haven't been a big fan of this since it started because they've lost money in a lot of cases.
I think three that we talk about are putting out a decent menu. Max, you can tell me, but he mentioned FanDuel and DraftKings, and I think Bet Rivers.
Bet Rivers has got a nice menu right now.
They offer all of the teams their market. So like their first pick, which I like, we know Harbaugh. What's he going? He's a line of scrimmage coach. I mean, he's going to take Joe Wall.
Right.
I mean, he's going to take an offensive lineman. He's not under pressure. Tua Tagovailoa. They got to protect him right now. The number, let me get it. But like 650 winning percentage with him, 350 winning percentage without him.
Plus Terran Armstead, and
Terran Armstead, and he left. So you've got those teams. It's people in Vegas, and this is something that we've learned since that we have mobile betting options, and 8 to 10 of them in Louisiana. That it's in Max, I think, was sort of his first experience in Vegas. Was like, man, I don't have the betting options I'm used to. Now,
Right.
we're sitting in Circus. Circus is Taj Mahal. Well, you can only bet in game during the commercial timeouts. Well, you already half the commercial break behind. I mean, Charlie, I'm sprinting to the window and I'm 50-50 whether or not I'll go get my in-game bet in. It's just their Vegas is used to dealing where they had people going to bet no matter what, and they don't have to offer the menu and some others. The mobile sites have been way more aggressive, and one of their points of aggression is their betting menu. And maybe BetMGM is not maybe as aggressive because they have so many physical properties.
Yeah.
They have Aria and MGM and Bellagio, all these, those brick and mortar places that these mobile sites don't have.
What I have noticed is there is, for a week out, there's an awful lot of agreement in the mock drafts and the odds on how these first 8 picks, or at least the first 7 picks, I should say, are going to go. I'm just going to use Bet Rivers' odds for a second.
Uh-huh.
Cam Ward is basically at this point
yes.
almost off the board. He's minus 10,000. They asked him yesterday who he thought the best receiver in the NFL was. You know what he said? Calvin Ridley. I think that means he's going to the Titans. I would say. He goes, well, Chase and Jefferson, but Calvin Ridley.
You know what?
It's good for you, man. Wait.
Something,
at least he's playing the game.
I respect his path. Everybody said, man, Cam Ward's getting all this money in Miami. Man, he had one offer. Incarnate Word.
Yeah.
He went there and played. He drove to Washington State and when he came from Washington State, I mean, man, this guy, you don't know what you're getting from game to game. They didn't make the playoff. It wasn't because they're off their defense. They could have leveled some of that payment out because they had no players on defense.
So okay, the first pick. Most years we know who the first pick is going to be, and it's fairly obvious. So that's common. The second pick, though, Travis Hunter is minus 590. The next one is plus 400. So you got a huge discrepancy there. Third pick
was minus 340 when I put it out Monday.
Okay, and so it's already minus 590. The third overall pick to be Abdul Carter is minus 335. And the next highest is Travis Hunter, who's at plus 350. He's probably going to be off the board. Will Campbell is a huge favorite to be the 4th overall pick. He's only minus 225, but the next number is all the way up at plus 550. The 5th overall pick.
They're not making any qualms and any secrets about their desire for a tackle as well.
Right. The 5th overall pick, which belongs to Jacksonville, Mason Graham, the defensive lineman from Michigan, is a huge favorite to be the 5th pick. He's minus 143, but when I say huge favorite, the next best odds are plus.
Who's got the 5th pick?
Jacksonville.
Yeah. That would be a great defensive front.
On the
interior. And has not that in the NFL in football? I mean, you mimic every industry. You mimic success, but having building a good, strong defensive line been a nice blueprint.
It helps, believe me. Ashton Genty, the running back from Boise State, is a huge favorite to be the 6th overall pick, going to Las Vegas.
That's
the
the one where I'm not. Is Pete Carroll one player away? That's when you take that's when you take your running back. That's the most natural position. That's the quickest turnaround. I mean,
they're the closest thing I've seen to the Saints, which is they are operating as if time is a sense of urgency, if you will, that they think they've got more roster than they do because they've hired a coach in his 70s. They traded for a quarterback who is in his 30s, mid 30s, and now you're going to draft a running back. They are acting like, hey, we're ready to win now. I don't think they are, but for the draft position, I could see them taking him and making him their Marshawn Lynch. What they did, mimic what they did in Seattle. And then Armand Membu from Missouri is a huge favorite to be the 7th pick at minus 106, and the next highest is plus 300. Now, after you get past that, it shakes up a little bit, I think, in a lot of cases because nobody really knows what the Saints are going to do at number 9. You get a lot of opinions there. There's a couple of things you can get under 5.5 with Mason Graham for minus 143. That's not terrible. Marion Hampton, who's probably going to be the 2nd running back off the board, you can get him under 19.5 at plus money, plus 205.
Broncos pick 20.
They pick 20, and we know that if Sean Payton thinks that a player is going to go
move up a couple picks,
it could move up a couple of picks. Yep. And the other team, I think, if Genty comes off the board at 6, I could see the Dallas Cowboys at 12 taking a Marion Hampton. That would not shock me. His stock is improving.
Really, over a receiver, huh?
I wouldn't make it the favorite, but I couldn't rule it out. I think that there's a case to be made there. I think it's more likely that Matthew Golden is the pick out of Texas, but I can't swear to it. The other one I kind of like is Mike Green, the edge rusher from Marshall, under 17.5. That's minus 132.
Well, you watch his film.
He explodes.
A little explosive.
He explodes, man.
He's got,
there ain't no doubt about that. And if you are convinced that the Saints would take Tyler Warren, I think there's a possibility. I'm certainly not convinced of anything. But if you like the Saints to take Tyler Warren, under 9.5 is plus money at 185. The tight end from Penn State.
Are the paying customers as down on the team as we are with the Saints fan base?
I've seen nothing but negative comments where Derek Carr is concerned.
Oh,
I think
we know that. That's
the dominating thing. I think that when you get closer to season, I think that people want to give Kellen Moore a chance. They would love for him to be the next Sean Payton. I think that they will give him every opportunity. I think they'll give the new players every opportunity.
So the one thing that's established, they despise Derek Carr.
Yes.
So they want a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen Rattler and Hainer enough.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I guess it's a little unfair because they certainly aren't close to their 20 starts. But
no,
they just don't.
Rattler's 0-6 in the 6 starts that he made. I think he's a journeyman backup quarterback in the league. That's my assessment of him after 6 games. Could he get better? Yeah, but it's a bridge quarterback to me. If they don't take a quarterback in the draft and Derek Carr doesn't play next year, you're looking at something like Carson Wentz or Teddy Bridgewater or
for this season.
Yeah, I mean they're going to sign
because if you stay with,
that's who's left.
Stay with Hainer or Rattler, I mean that's the weakest starter in the league.
Yes, by a lot. And I would, I'd be fine going with that because it sets you up to draft a quarterback next year, and it doesn't have to be Arch Manning. Okay, there'll be other quarterbacks in next year's draft. I would be fine with that, but that again, it requires you to acknowledge a little bit of the reset, and I don't know what they do. I would hate to see your buddy Rogers was on with McAfee today, right?
Very uncommitted. At this point.
He's playing golf.
He's just, letting this linger on for longer than it needs to be.
I mean, the only ways that they could screw this up more would be to bring Aaron Rodgers in so they could win 6 or 7 games again, pay him a bunch of money, and be right back in the same spot again next year. Or they could trade up for a quarterback. That would be
Aaron
bad.
Rodgers went on McAfee and basically tried to create some, lack of clarity of where his future is. Really?
Does he have a contract offer on the table from Pittsburgh? Do we know that? Does he have a deal in place that they're just saying sign it or not? Or is he waiting for the draft to play out?
If they do, the Steelers are embarrassed about divulging that.
I mean,
this guy does not fit that football team, that organization. Whether it's the locker room, the fans, the culture. No.
Cam Hayward told you that.
He is the worst fit for that.
Cam Hayward told you that. A respected veteran in that room, been in that city a long time, said, you want to come? Come on. If you don't, I'm not going to kiss you behind to come here.
He's not bad, but he's pretty damn average right now in his career.
Rodgers?
Yeah, he's pretty average. I mean, he's just another guy.
What else did he say, Max?
He officially, I'll just give his actual quote because he doesn't like getting misquoted by anyone. I'm open to anything and attached to nothing. Retirement could still be a possibility.
That sounds like somebody I want in my locker room, man.
Charles,
he's
committed. You wonder what the Saints. Okay, this guy, what's coming out of his mouth every time.
Yeah,
and it just
he will.
Man,
he's
sure he doesn't want to play wide receiver, huh? This guy is such a diva, man. My God, drama queen, bro.
And Pittsburgh doesn't have a whole lot of options. I mean,
Nick Shea is reporting that
they let Wilson walk, and then they got Fields.
They let Fields.
Fields is going to.
Fields is in the Jets with the Jets.
Okay,
so they they don't have a whole lot of because they are a borderline playoff team. Okay, with the right quarterback, they could make the playoffs. It's not like New Orleans and Las Vegas. Pittsburgh actually has a ready-made roster and a proven coach that if they had a quarterback, they could make the playoffs.
Todd McShay has mentioned that he has heard that Mike Tomlin likes Shedeur Sanders. Whether he gets that far, whether they trade up to get him, we'll see. But
Supreme Rice at SupremeRice.com. Not only are you supporting Louisiana farmers who are looking out for future Louisiana rice farmers, so it's why we started with the gumbo and the jambalaya and things like that, because rice dressing, because we're resourceful in Louisiana. But, man, that parboiled rice, it's available at wherever you usually shop for your Supreme Rice, and it is great. It's a different level rice, man. Get that restaurant quality rice when boiling at home. Finally found a secret. That's that parboiled rice from Supreme Rice.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Rufino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette,
You ready? This quote's better. I'll set it all straight. From the jump, I'm in a different phase of my life. I'm 41 years old. I'm in a serious relationship. I have personal commitments I've made. And people in my inner circle battling difficult stuff. To make a commitment to a team is a big thing.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
It's rolling.
Join us for the Friday edition of Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road. We'll recap LSU's opening game against Alabama and get you ready for a big Southeastern Conference weekend. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Damn it. This is Charles Hannegriff. Join us for the Friday edition of Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road. We'll take a look back at LSU's first game against Alabama and set you up for the weekend. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Friday from Rufino's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
$1,000. Whatever amount you can spare will get us that much closer to making more dreams come true for local kids suffering life-threatening illnesses.
Visit 1045ESPN.com to donate today.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle.
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710. With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Text Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
The new go-to pizza joint in downtown Baton Rouge is Town Square Pizza. Town Square Pizza, located on North Boulevard across from the courthouse, is the perfect in-and-out destination when grabbing a quick workday lunch or visiting local attractions on the weekend. Town Square Pizza, you guessed it, square pizzas are consistently flavored and cooked perfectly every single time. It's as simple as that. Town Square Pizza, downtown next to Jolie Pearl. Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe iDrive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Justin Thomas on top of the leaderboard, 9 under through 16, 2-stroke lead over Scotty Scheffler and Russell Henley, Max's first pick. So good job there. Jordan Spieth, one of our consensus picks, he's 5 back at 4 under.
Okay. I was just trying to get this. There's an active shooter on the Florida State campus. They've canceled everything and they've done a shelter in place at Florida State. So they've shut down everything at the university right now. I'm trying to see if there's any update on 6 injured, 1 critically. A man has been arrested now and the campus is locked down. So keep an eye on that situation at Florida State. Adam Schefter went on Get Up this morning and said that the Saints do not have much interest in Shadur Sanders, and Mel Kiper got on ESPN and said Shadur Sanders and the Saints would be a perfect fit. Who do you believe? Or which camp are you? Which camp are you in? I honestly don't think they're going to take him.
I think. Well, how did we miss no class with this? With Shadur Sanders' jersey being retired at Colorado. Man, that's. I mean, you right before the draft, you reinforcing the daddy ball that some people are scared about.
Yeah.
This is all Dion, it's all him, and if you want to retire and first of all, you just wait to retire jerseys, but if you want to retire your Heisman Trophy winners jersey, that's one thing. But this is a quarterback. I mean, it's like Archie Manning's jersey being hung up in the Superdome. Never had a winning season. Never had a winning season. They won 10 games in 2 seasons.
Was Rashawn Salam's jersey
I don't
retired?
think so. I don't
the
think so.
Late Rashawn Salam.
Well, but then you go Darian Hagan.
Yeah,
I mean, Eric Bieniemy. I mean, there's some of the Cordell Stewart. How many big games did he win
off their
for Colorado?
Yeah, somebody off one of their
I
championships.
mean, not going having a losing record.
Tomorrow we are at Ruffino's. Until then, thanks to the folks here at Walk-Ons. Come on by before and after LSU baseball all weekend long. For Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, and Jordan Kitchens back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. And stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need
All right, you guys have a good one.
Jordan, thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
a coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. A person